Boom. What up, YouTube? LTH coming at you with a video. 7:13 to Mayo City, we up in here. So, with Texans football season drawing near, which is 8 days away, soon to be 7, a week from tomorrow, sure, this is not going to be a Texans and Colts preview, but this is going to be a Texans 2024 season preview, that is. And I gotta say, yeah, I know Danico Autry suspended for the next 6 games, and Christian Harris is on IR, for at least for 4 games, which is unfortunate. But I gotta say, I see week 1 being a dogfight between Texans and Colts, which I'll explain more in another video, but I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty confident. Yes, still big teams to think about, such as the Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, even though we don't play them this year. And of course the division, Tennessee Titans, I look at them as a bigger threat to the Texans in the AFC South regarding the moves they made. They vamped that. They built their secondary up like crazy. But I can't be mad at them though, because, hey, they want to eliminate big plays through the air. That's what's building the pass defense up for, eliminating big plays. But as far as the Houston Texans go, and Jags, they still got a pretty good squad too. But I see this AFC South being a bloodbath. But even so, I'm still feel like I'm pretty good about feeling pretty good about my Texans in 24. Considering the moves and trades they made to build the roster that they have now. 5-headed monster on offense, along with a 5-headed monster on defense. The Neil Hunter, taking less to be a Houston Texan instead of going to the Colts, who offered more money. And extending Nico Collins, which was, made awesome. Trade for Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, and of course, though I had high hopes for Dameon Pierce, who's gonna be like running back 3, but I say that the scheme is not fitting him too well, or this year could be his last year as a Texan. So got one more year to show something what he can do in year 3, because year 2 not as good as year 1, in which he nearly had 1,000 yards. If you take away the injury, he reached that point in 22. The year that the Texans sucked, went 3-13-1, but trading for Stephon Diggs, and of course handle the business in the NFL draft. And Jalen Petrie, I'm rooting for him to have a kick-ass year 3. Secondary, I wanted Justin Simmons to come to Houston. I would look at it as a response to Tennessee's moves they made in their secondary, but I guess they're confident in the guys that they have, and Kalen Bullock, and I can't pronounce his last name. But he was that player from defensive back from Georgia, and who we drafted. And I would have liked for Marcus Harris to be on the 53-man roster, and who we just drafted. But that's what happens when we have a hella stacked roster, for sure. So how do I look at Houston? As far as their ceiling goes, I look at it as 12-5 at best. Yeah, 13-14 wins would be great, but I'm gonna have it at 12-5 at best. And of course, the AFC South champs, by a game. Since I said I look at Tennessee as a much bigger threat to the Texans, but I look at Houston as 12-5 at best. If they do win 13-14, which is not guaranteed, hey, I'll be all for it. which is well enough, to get a top 2 seed. But 12-5 is how I'm looking at it. And of course, got to win your division games too, as well, because can't afford crucial losses in the division, because losing divisional games, which is a big part of the season, with and of course showdown starts with Indy, which is an AFC South matchup, and then the second one is with Jacksonville and Houston, and of course the third game with division games, week 12 in H-Town, a big showdown against the Titans, which I'm looking forward to the most. Week 12, and then in week 1, that's what I'm looking forward to. The AFC South is gonna be a bloodbath. I'm not even gonna lie, no lie at all. It's gonna be fun. It's not a lot of guarantees in this division. Just like the AFC West, AFC North gonna be a bloodbath. Hell, the AFC East, I see, is gonna be up for grabs this year. But who knows? Even though I may be off topic, but who knows what the Dolphins look like, and how well they perform in big crucial games when it counts. Because Josh Allen, even though he lost some key weapons regarding Diggs and Gabe Davis. But back to the Texans though, even though they don't have Christian Harris and Danico Autry to kick off 2024, it would be nice for the Texans to bring in a linebacker and a D tackle, just to fill the voids, up until Christian Harris and Autry comes back. Though, and Henry To'oTo'o will have to step it up for sure, because gonna need him to step up big time, because Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor's gonna be running the life out that ball, so the defensive line gotta help really eat. So I look at the Texans, still being the top 10 defense, and the Texans, if healthy, Tank Dell can stay healthy. Hey, as far as Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, Joe Mixon, running game should be a lot improved. Cam Akers earned that RB2 spot. Two-headed running back monsters. 1-2 punch and running back. Because I'm all for taking the pressure off CJ Stroud, because look at last year, running back wasn't all that up to par. Devin Singletary showed some flashes, but still didn't exchange, that the running game wasn't up to par, considering playing up against some tough run defenses such as the Ravens in that playoff game. So can't run the ball, can't always expect to score points on the board, no matter how dynamic the quarterback is. Gotta run the ball to take some pressure off that QB, in which shall be no excuses at this point. With Joe Mixon and Cam Akers as RB1 and 2, should be good to take some pressure off Stroud. Though I could see Stroud doing his thing in year 2 and Tank Dell, a healthy Tank Dell. It sucks that he went down with an injury week 13 versus Denver, because he was missed like crazy, in key situations, and I'll say in that playoff game in Baltimore. I'm not using injuries as an excuse, but hey, gotta come up with better game plans when playing against tough defenses. And Houston does play the Ravens again, but that's gonna be way late in Christmas Day. So if healthy, the Texans can have a top 5 offense in the league. Top 5 at best, and top 10 at offense at worst. While I could look at the Texans having the top 10 defense as well. If they can, remain healthy through most of the year. And it's unfortunate that injuries are part of the game. Because it's always next man up, as they say. So The Texans ceiling 12-5, you know, and the Texans floor at worst 9-8. I want to say 10-7, but I'm gonna say 9-8. Though I could see them doing a lot better than last year, because there's no excuses to why the Texans don't take big steps in 24. With the roster they built and the expectations, just gotta live up to it. Yeah, they have a tough schedule for sure, courtesy of winning the AFC South last season. But I would say Jacksonville, had they won the division, they would have the tough schedule instead of the Texans. But thanks to the Texans winning it, courtesy of Jacksonville losing to Tennessee last season, the Texans have the tough schedule. And hey, just got to ball out, be consistent, handle business, and have that IQ, because any team can have talent on both sides of the ball. It's just boiled down to IQ as well. So gonna be some opposing good coaches they up against, and along with good opposing coordinators as well on offense and defense. Just gotta be creative and outsmart the other. That's how the Texans can win football games in 24. And plus, go one step further. Even if it's not guaranteed, because not getting my hopes up too high, since I believe at one game at a time at the end of the day. Even when they was losing, getting their butt kicked, still supporting this team through it all, in one game at a time. Day one, like a day one supporter. Since I was supporting this team since David Carr and was the quarterback, along with Dom Capers being the first head coach of the Texans. Yep. That's what that Texans loyalty looks like. So, Miko, future coach of the year, should have been coach of the year last year, but dude got Stroud and Will Anderson, reigning rookies, offensive and defensive rookies of the year. It's going to be fun how they handle business in year 2. And considering how many more sacks Will Anderson would have had last season if he wasn't held on certain plays. But, it just sucks that the referees, tend to be blind. Just got to play through the bad officiating at the end of the day. With some mental toughness. Because can't go around being weak-minded. Because if you're weak-minded as a whole, you're going to have a hard time winning games, for sure. So, what I'm going to be watching for in 24, it's going to be how that new look secondary is going to look like. And that new Texans defense and that new Texans offense for sure, with new running backs, new players for sure. Standing Dalton Schultz, Nico Collins, and there was some players I would like to have kept, such as like Cashman and John Grenard, who are with the Vikings, and Sheldon Rankins, who's with the Cincinnati Bengals. But at the end of the day, it's unfortunate that you can't keep everybody. And I'm going to be on, can't keep everybody. So it is what it is. So, like I said, my 2024 Texans prediction record, 12-5. Could turn out wrong if they win less or more than my projected win-loss column. So there you have it. There's my Texans 2024 preview video. 8 more days, and got a Texans versus Colts video coming up soon. So be on the lookout for that. Texas Nation, stand up. LTH checking on up out of here. 713 to Bayou City. I am out of here. Always, forever. Go Houston, mother effing Texans. I'm out.